What is up, car addicts? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Triple Money event week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. So this event week is for August 18th through August 24th, 2022. So for new content this week, we have the Imponte Ruiner ZZ8 that was added today as the third drip feed car of this DLC, which means we have 9 drip feed vehicles left for this DLC. Also, we have a new random free mode event that was added today called Smuggler Plane and Smuggler Trial as well. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Vapid Retinue. This car is primarily based on the Ford Escort Mark I. It has a normal price of about $600,000. To get this car for free, you have to place top 5 in a Street Series race for 2 days in a row. So pretty easy there, only 2 days for this one for this week instead of the usual 3. In terms of performance, this car is in the Sports Classics class and is very quick, being around the pace of the Silvestra and the Z-Type for track performance. It has great customization and is a ton of fun to drive as well, so I think it's definitely worth trying to win this week. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Comet S2, the ETR1, and the Cyclone as well. And for next-gen console players, we have the Sentinel XS as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Rapid GT Classic. So this car is primarily based on the 1970s Aston Martin V8. It has a normal price of just under $900,000. In terms of performance, this car is in top 5 for the Sports Classics class in terms of track performance, and for old gen, it's still extremely competitive with top 3 depending on the track. Plus, this car has some pretty good customization as well. I highly recommend trying to get it from the wheel this week. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the Pariah and the new Ruiner ZZ8 as well. Not sure how an old Trans Am is considered a high-end luxury car, but anyways. For Simeons, we have the Speedo Van, the Dynasty, the Fagaloa, the Sultan Classic, and the Impala as well. So, starting off with the property discounts, we have 40% off the MC Clubhouses, which is pretty good. Remember that Rockstar did add the customer delivery biker business to it, similar to the auto shop with this DLC. Just make sure you buy the custom bike shop upgrade when buying this property to unlock that. And of course, the bar resupply missions were also added to the clubhouse, which earns you additional passive income. Moving on to the vehicle discounts, we have 50% off the Pariah. So this is still the fastest car on old gen, but obviously on next gen it has been dethroned by the HSW cars, but regardless, it's still an insanely fast car and still one of the fastest in the sports class for track performance, and I highly recommend it at this price if you don't own one already. Moving on to the Severn San Andreas website, we have 40% off the Impala. So this is a great looking muscle car with decent customization and is honestly a great deal for it. Now obviously this is one of the cars that can be upgraded at the arena, but honestly I prefer the clean look of its standard version. Next up, we have 40% off the Sultan Classic. Now this is a great car, but honestly the Sultan RS Classic is a lot nicer in my opinion, with more customization as well, so that's the one I ultimately prefer, but I suppose this one does seat 4 players as opposed to the 2 with the RS. Moving along, we have 40% off the Glendale. So this car did have a Benny's option added to it a couple years ago, so I guess it does have that. Next up, we have 50% off the Vortex motorcycle. So this is one of the nicer looking motorcycles in my opinion in game, with great customization as well, but sadly it's not all that fast, and even the OG Batty 801 is still quicker. Moving on to the Benny's website, we have 40% off the Benny's custom conversion cost upgrade for the faction, which brings that conversion cost down to $200,000. Not the best car in the game, and honestly I prefer the regular version, but I guess if you've always wanted one, this is a pretty decent deal. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 40% off the Marshall Monster Truck, which is pretty random. This is a Pegasus vehicle with no customization, but it does have the working lights as opposed to the Liberator. Now for me, it is free because I was a returning player from old gen, the old old gen, Xbox 360 and PS3. So for most people who were not returning players from those old gen consoles, the normal price is $500,000, and with the discount it would be $300,000. In terms of unlocks, just for logging in this week, you unlock the Wild Striped Pull Sliders, which is extremely random. In terms of clothing discounts, we have 50% off the biker jackets. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on the MC Clubhouse contracts this week, which is pretty good. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP continuing on the Gallo Perico races that were added last week. Plus, all the normal land and air races are double money NRP this week as well, which is pretty cool. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Game members only. So again, same as usual, the only thing we have is the usual free $100,000 for logins during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Davis Courts. This week's normal time trial is LSIA 2. I highly recommend a fast bike such as the Hakuchu Drag, Shotaro, or a Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the Supercar Race Senora Freeway. I highly recommend either the Vest 8, Emerus, or Krieger for this race. And if you're on next gen, I recommend using either the HSW Vest 8 or the HSW Weaponized Ignis. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial for this week is Ron Alternates. As always, the Hakuchu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Pariah. Even though it's not the fastest on next gen, it's still a crazy fast car in general, and of course, it's still one of the fastest for track performance in the sports class, and at 50% off, it's hard to pass up a half-priced Pariah. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent event week with some good vehicle discounts and bonuses as well. Sure, the double money isn't all that great, but it will get better as time goes on, especially once the drip feed cars end. Now, something I was a bit surprised about for this event week that we didn't get is the new events to unlock the M16. I'm not sure why Rockstar hasn't added that yet. They're kind of like dragging that on. We got pretty good event weeks back to back. The SM722, we received the dealerships with that event week. With the Draugr, we received the new Gallo Perico races. But for this week, we got the brand new ZZ8s, but we didn't get any new events other than those smuggler free mode events, which probably nobody's gonna do. So hopefully next week we get the M16, and the brand new Vigero ZX is a new one that should come out, hopefully for next week. So let's see what happens. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.